The Great Loop is frequently sold to retirees as the ultimate calm water dream cruise. But the unspoken truth that catches thousands of first-time buyers off guard is that America's inland routes are dangerously shallow, constantly shifting, and utterly unforgiving to deep-draft vessels. If you operate a traditional 40-foot trawler drawing 5 feet of water, every low-tide passage turns into an absolute nightmare. The moment you enter the mudflats of coastal Georgia, the narrow cuts of the Dismal Swamp Canal, or the shifting sandbars of the Carolinas, one single grounding at 6 knots will bend your drive shaft, destroy bronze strut bearings, and jam the rudder straight into your hull bottom. Commercial salvage towing charges upwards of $250 an hour just to hook up a line. When you factor in emergency boatyard haul-outs, specialized shaft straightening, and weeks waiting for custom bronze running gear, a single accidental grounding will effortlessly drain $15,000 to $25,000 directly out of your retirement nest egg. Great Loop veterans understand a fundamental rule. The ultimate luxury on inland waterways is not massive staterooms or high horsepower. It is an ultra-shallow draft. When your vessel draws under 2.5 feet, grounding anxiety vanishes. You can cruise skinny tidal channels, cross wide bays on a falling tide, and anchor in untouched 2-foot coves where heavy yachts can never follow. Today on Boat Scout, we break down 5 battle-tested, shallow-draft pocket trawlers and compact cruisers under $50,000 that draw 2.5 feet or less, feature fully protected running gear, and ensure you will never spend your retirement voyage stranded on a mudflat waiting for an expensive salvage tug. Coming in at number 5 on our countdown is quite possibly the most innovative shoal draft displacement cruiser ever built in North America, the Nimble Nomad 25 and Nomad 27 Tropical, designed by legendary naval architect Ted Brewer. Built in Tampa, Florida, the Nomad was specifically engineered around a single design philosophy: maximum interior living volume, classic salty tugboat styling, and an astonishingly shallow operational draft of just 12 to 14 inches. Ted Brewer designed an ultra-efficient flat-bottom displacement hull form featuring a sharp, buoyant bow entry and classic workboat shear lines. Because there are no deep keels, exposed struts, or protruding underwater appendages beneath the hull line, the Nimble Nomad draws only 1 foot of water. You can literally cruise over wide mudflats, navigate shallow tidal creeks, and nose the bow directly onto a sandy island beach, stepping off dry onto the sand without ever deploying a dinghy. Propulsion on the Nimble Nomad is exceptionally versatile and low maintenance. While a handful of hulls were equipped with small bulletproof Yanmar or Westerbeck naturally aspirated diesel inboards, the vast majority of Nomads are powered by a single high-thrust, 4-stroke outboard engine between 25 and 50 horsepower, mounted inside a protected centerline transom well. Running a high-thrust Yamaha, Honda, or Suzuki 4-stroke outboard delivers immense mechanical advantages for the budget-conscious Great Loop cruiser. If you encounter an unmarked submerged log or sudden shoaling in the Illinois River, the outboard's mechanical tilt mechanism allows the lower unit to kick up automatically, completely preventing catastrophic hull or lower unit damage. Routine maintenance on a modern 4-stroke outboard is simple enough to perform on a marina dock in 20 minutes using basic hand tools. There are no below-the-waterline stuffing boxes to leak, no underwater cutlass bearings to wear out, and no raw water intake hoses buried deep inside tight, dirty bilges. Powered by a 30 or 40 horsepower outboard operating at 3/4 throttle, The Nomad cruises steadily at 6 to 6.5 knots, while burning a microscopic 0.6 to 0.8 gallons of fuel per hour. With a standard 40-gallon fuel capacity, you get an astonishing cruising range of over 400 nautical miles on a single fill-up, completely insulating your retirement budget from transient fuel dock price spikes. Inside the cabin, the Nimble Nomad defies its 25-foot length by delivering a bright, open interior with 6 feet 3 inches of standing headroom. The layout features an open wheelhouse salon surrounded by 360-degree glass windows that flood the living space with natural light and deliver incredible panoramic visibility while navigating tight canal channels. The interior includes a functional galley counter with a deep stainless sink, 2-burner cooktop, and compact refrigeration, a spacious forward convertible dinette that transforms into an oversized double berth for 2 adults, and a fully enclosed private head compartment with a marine toilet and sink. On today's pre-owned market, clean Nimble Nomad 25 and 27 cruisers actively trade between $28,000 and $42,000. When conducting a pre-purchase survey on a Nimble Nomad, have your marine surveyor carefully inspect the transom outboard well for proper drainage and core integrity. Examine the roof seams around the pilot house brow for water intrusion, and check the steering cable connections for smooth operation. Taking our number 4 spot is a rugged, cult classic Pacific Northwest passage maker that has safely carried hundreds of adventurous cruising couples around the Great Loop, the C-Dory 25 cruiser. Manufactured in Washington State and built to withstand the demanding, log-strewn waters of Puget Sound and southeast Alaska, the C-Dory 25 is celebrated across North America for its rock-solid composite construction, ultra-low maintenance requirements, and an unbelievable 12-inch operational draft. The hull of the C-Dory 25 is constructed from heavy hand-laid fiberglass, featuring a semi-displacement flat-bottom aft section transitioning into a sharp, wave-splitting bow entry. Because the boat carries no deep keel, struts, or fixed underwater hardware below the hull line, it draws just 1 single foot of water with the engine trimmed down, and mere inches with the motor tilted up. This allows C-Dory cruisers to effortlessly navigate the shallowest sections of the Dismal Swamp Canal, cruise right over Georgia mudbanks at low tide without flinching, and anchor in untouched 1-foot-deep anchorages where massive trawlers can never follow. Propulsion on the C-Dory 25 comes from a single or twin 4-stroke outboard configuration, typically a reliable 115 to 150 horsepower Yamaha, Honda, or Suzuki outboard, mounted on a heavy-duty fiberglass transom bracket. The mechanical simplicity of this setup is an owner cruiser's dream. Because the engine sits entirely outside the living cabin on the transom, the interior of the boat remains completely odor-free, silent, and free of oily engine bilges. Servicing the outboard requires zero contortionism. You tilt the motor completely out of the water while tied to a slip, allowing you to change engine oil, swap gear lube, replace fuel-water separator filters, and inspect the lower unit zincs without ever hauling the boat out of the water or getting your clothes dirty. On the water, the semi-displacement hull offers remarkable operational versatility. When running at a relaxed displacement cruising pace of 6 knots on inland rivers and canals, the C-Dory 25 sips roughly 0.7 gallons of fuel per hour. However, unlike heavy displacement trawlers that are permanently locked at 7 knots, the C-Dory 25 has the immense reserve capability to get on plane and cruise at 14 to 18 knots, whenever you need to outrun an afternoon squall crossing Albemarle Sound, beat an incoming tidal current, or make bridge openings ahead of schedule. Inside, the C-Dory 25 cruiser provides a brilliant, practical Liveaboard layout specifically engineered for long-distance cruising couples. The cabin features over 6 feet 1 inch of standing headroom, large opening windows that deliver continuous fresh cross-ventilation, and a spacious portside convertible dinette that seats 4 adults and converts into a generous 6 foot 4 inch single or double berth. To starboard, you get a full galley setup, including a stainless steel sink, pressurized freshwater system, cooktop, and refrigerator. Crucially, for a 25-foot vessel, the C-Dory 25 features a fully molded, stand-up enclosed head compartment equipped with a marine toilet, holding tank, and a hot water shower system, eliminating the frustration of primitive cassette toilets on extended voyages. Forward, a deep V-berth with custom memory foam cushions easily accommodates 2 tall adults in complete comfort. On today's market, clean and turnkey C-Dory 25 cruisers sell between $35,000 and $48,000. When surveying a C-Dory 25, ensure your surveyor checks the balsa and composite coring of the cabin roof and deck with a digital moisture meter, inspects the aluminum fuel tank belly for water condensation, and verifies that the transom bracket mounting bolts are properly sealed with marine polyurethane. Moving to number 3 on our countdown is an exceptionally seaworthy, fuel-efficient European classic that conquered the North American cruising scene, the Albin 27 family cruiser and sport cruiser. Designed in Sweden by legendary naval architect Per Brohel and built in Portsmouth, Rhode Island, the Albin 27 was engineered from the keel up to deliver true offshore stability, incredible fuel efficiency, and a shallow operational draft of just 28 inches. What makes the Albin 27 so extraordinarily reliable for shallow water great loop cruising is its ingenious full-length molded fiberglass keel and protected skeg shoe. Instead of leaving the spinning bronze propeller and rudder completely exposed beneath the hull like modern sport cruisers, Per Brohel engineered the Albin 27 with a heavy, tapering keel that runs the entire length of the centerline. The bronze propeller sits completely protected within an engineered aperture, well above the bottom line of the keel, and the rudder is securely locked into a heavy bronze skeg shoe. If you accidentally graze a shallow mud bottom in the intracoastal waterway, or strike a submerged log in the Ohio River, the heavy fiberglass keel takes the entire impact, harmlessly lifting the vessel over the obstruction, while keeping your drive shaft, propeller, and rudder 100% safe from harm. Down in the center engine compartment, the Albin 27 is powered by an ultra-reliable, industrial-grade, naturally aspirated mechanical diesel inboard, most commonly a 3- or 4-cylinder Isuzu Yanmar 4JH or Lehman diesel, producing between 60 and 100 horsepower. These bulletproof, low RPM mechanical diesels operate without complex computerized sensors or electronic control modules. Routine maintenance is remarkably straightforward. Lifting the heavily insulated center cockpit hatches provides wide-open 360-degree access to the entire engine block, mechanical fuel injection pump, seawater strainer, and raw water pump. You can change fuel filters, replace the water pump impeller, and check the stuffing box in minutes without straining your back. Mechanically, running a single low RPM diesel at displacement speeds makes the Albin 27 one of the most economical cruising platforms ever conceived. Cruising comfortably at 6.5 to 7 knots, the Albin 27 burns an astonishing 0.8 to 1.0 gallons of diesel per hour. With a standard 65-gallon aluminum fuel tank, you have an incredible cruising range of over 500 nautical miles on less than $100 of fuel, allowing you to bypass expensive transient marina fuel docks with ease. Inside the cabin, The Albin 27 family cruiser features a unique aft cabin layout that provides exceptional privacy for cruising couples with guests. The forward cabin features a spacious U-shaped dinette that converts into a king-sized master berth, a fully functional galley with a stove, stainless sink and icebox, and a fully enclosed head with a marine toilet and shower. Aft of the protected center cockpit, a completely separate private aft cabin provides 2 full-length single berths, making it the ideal storage area for great loop gear, folding bicycles, and spare parts. On today's pre-owned market, well-maintained Albin 27 cruisers actively list between $24,000 and $38,000, making them one of the absolute best values in the entire maritime world. When conducting a pre-purchase survey, have your marine surveyor inspect the cockpit floor stringers for moisture, check the original aluminium fuel tank for pitting corrosion, and test the rubber cutlass bearing in the protected keel skeg for play. Taking our number 2 spot is a legendary Canadian maritime icon built to survive the brutal, freezing North Atlantic seas. The Rosborough RF-246 sedan cruiser and Yarmouth 25. Manufactured in Nova Scotia by Rosborough Boats, a builder internationally renowned for producing rugged commercial fishing boats and Canadian Coast Guard search and rescue vessels, the RF-246 brings military-grade toughness and true shallow water capability to the Great Loop. The hull of the Rosborough RF-246 is built like a floating tank. Constructed from solid, hand-laid monolithic fiberglass with heavy internal stringers and zero structural wood below the waterline, the hull features a classic downeast semi-displacement design with a deep, wave-slicing bow flare transitioning into flat aft sections with a stabilizing center keel. Despite its immense seaworthiness and 4-foot open water chop, the Rosborough RF-246 draws an astonishingly shallow 18 inches of water. You can glide through the skinniest tidal bays in Florida, cruise over shallow sandbars with total peace of mind, and navigate uncharted river anchorages that deep-draft trawlers would never dare approach. Propulsion on modern RF-246 cruisers comes from a single 4-stroke outboard between 150 and 200 horsepower, such as a Yamaha, Suzuki or Honda, mounted on a heavy-duty full-width aluminum transom bracket. This setup delivers unmatched shallow water freedom. If you spot shallow water ahead, you simply tap the helm tilt switch to trim the motor up slightly, reducing your running draft to mere inches while maintaining full steerage. Furthermore, because the outboard is located completely outside the cabin, the interior remains whisper quiet, and you never have to deal with the heat, fumes, or tight engine spaces of traditional inboard trawlers. At displacement speeds of 6 to 7 knots, the Rosborough sips approximately 1.0 to 1.2 gallons of fuel per hour. When you encounter rough open water crossing Albemarle Sound or running across the Gulf of Mexico, the boat's commercial downeast bow flare effortlessly knocks down heavy spray, while the hull easily planes off at 14 to 16 knots to power through rough conditions safely. Inside the wheelhouse, the Rosborough RF-246 delivers one of the most functional and comfortable liveaboard layouts ever designed for a 25-foot vessel. The pilot house features a towering 6 feet 5 inches of standing headroom and authentic sliding port and starboard helm doors that allow the captain to step right onto the side decks for effortless solo docking inside narrow canal locks. The main salon includes a 4-person convertible dinette, a full galley with a 2-burner stove, stainless sink, and dual-voltage refrigerator, and an enclosed stand-up head compartment with a marine toilet and hot water shower. Forward, A massive 6-foot 6-inch V-berth with deep storage shelves provides genuine sleeping comfort for extended voyages. Clean, pre-owned Rosborough RF-246 cruisers actively sell on today's market between $38,000 and $49,000. During your pre-purchase survey, have your surveyor inspect the aluminum transom outboard bracket for galvanic corrosion, test the deck core around the bow windlass for moisture, and verify that the fuel-water separator filters are cleanly plumbed. And taking our number 1 spot for the ultimate shallow draft, low-maintenance Great Loop cruiser under $50,000 is an American downeast masterpiece, the Mainship 34 Pilot and Pilot 30. Built in New Jersey by Mainship Yachts, the Pilot series was engineered specifically to combine the classic aesthetic and seaworthiness of traditional downeast lobster boats with modern fiberglass construction and an exceptionally shallow operational draft of just 28 inches. The engineering secret that makes the Mainship Pilot our top-ranked shallow water vessel is its innovative semi-displacement hull featuring an integrated underwater propeller pocket and a full-length protective keel. Instead of allowing the running gear to hang dangerously low beneath the boat, Mainship's naval architects engineered a dedicated recessed tunnel pocket into the fiberglass hull bottom. The 4-blade bronze propeller and heavy stainless steel drive shaft are housed safely inside this recessed tunnel, fully protected from beneath by a solid fiberglass keel skeg. This brilliant design achieves 2 massive benefits. First, it reduces the operational draft of a heavy 34-foot offshore cruiser down to just 2 feet 4 inches. And second, if you run over a sandbar or shallow mudbank, the heavy keel bottom takes the brunt of the contact, shielding the spinning propeller and rudder from catastrophic damage. Beneath the cockpit sole, the Mainship Pilot is powered by an ultra-reliable single Yanmar 6LP, Cummins 6BTA, or Perkins diesel engine, producing between 170 and 300 horsepower. Because the single engine is positioned cleanly along the centerline, beneath large gas-assisted cockpit engine hatches, you get unobstructed 360-degree walk-around mechanical access. You can stand comfortably beside the engine block to change Raycor fuel filters, service the raw water sea strainer, swap the water pump impeller, or check the bronze packing gland in minutes using basic hand tools. Operating at a relaxed displacement cruising speed of 7 knots, the Mainship Pilot burns roughly 1.5 gallons of diesel per hour. With standard twin aluminum fuel tanks holding 250 gallons, you achieve an immense cruising range of well over 1,000 nautical miles, giving you complete independence across long, remote stretches of the Great Loop without worrying about fuel availability. Furthermore, when crossing open sounds or fighting strong incoming river currents, you have the reserve power to cruise smoothly at 12 to 14 knots. Inside the cabin, the Mainship Pilot delivers a luxurious, beautifully finished Liveaboard interior with 6 feet 4 inches of standing headroom. The main cabin features solid teak cabinetry, a spacious convertible dinette that seats 4 adults, a gourmet galley equipped with a deep sink, 2-burner cooktop, microwave, and domestic refrigerator, and a massive forward Master Queen V-berth with cedar-lined hanging lockers. The fully enclosed head compartment features a molded fiberglass vanity, marine electric toilet, and a full stand-up hot water shower stall. On today's pre-owned market, clean Mainship Pilot 30 and Pilot 34 cruisers actively trade between $38,000 and $49,000, representing the ultimate turnkey, shallow draft passage maker for retirement cruisers. When surveying a Mainship Pilot, ensure your surveyor inspects the cockpit sole coring with a digital moisture meter, checks the exhaust elbow for signs of internal corrosion, and verifies that the propeller tunnel pocket is free of stress cracks. These 5 shallow draft cruisers prove that you do not need to risk $20,000 grounding bills or endure endless low-tide stress on the Great Loop. By choosing a vessel drawing less than 2.5 feet with protected running gear, you protect your retirement savings, eliminate grounding anxiety, and explore America's most beautiful secluded anchorages with complete peace of mind. Which of these 5 shallow draft Great Loop cruisers would you choose for your adventure? Drop your favorite pick and your thoughts in the comments section below, hit that like button, and subscribe to Boat Scout for more practical buying guides. Thank you for watching, and fair winds.